Player hasn't been far from the headlines in recent weeks. Let's go to the back page of The Sun. The headline, "For the Love of God." An exclusive here by Charlie Wyatt saying that Arsenal will reignite their interest in this summer and hope to land him for £75 million. He's had an upturn in form, Johnny, in the last few weeks for Newcastle, playing through the middle. Is he worth that amount of money? Will he improve this Arsenal team, do you think?
No, obviously the money is there with Arsenal. There is the issue of Newcastle's willingness to sell of Bruno Guimarães, because you have a potential exodus for them this summer. Like, the likes of Tonali or Lewis Hall, Livramento they could all go. I mean, it could be a fire sale this summer, especially if they don't reach the Champions League or if they don't qualify for European football. The other factor, I think, is whether Arsenal and Arteta are going to develop him as a player. We've seen what happened with Eberechi Eze, who I think was pretty much a shoo-in of Bruno Guimarães. Probably still will, but isn't 100%. I think he's gone backwards in terms of that. And it's not entirely his fault. It's a period of adaptation, because the football that he's being expected to play at Arsenal, and this will apply to him as well, the kind of defence he's coming up against, the kind of system he's going into, will require a period of adaptation. And it's whether that period of adaptation is going to be worth it in the long term to make himself better, to win trophies, to improve himself, and whether it's worth taking that slight risk in the short term, because he is a fantastic player. I'd be interested to see how it works out in practice. That's all I'd say.
Yeah. He's just such an exciting player to watch, particularly in the last few weeks.
Now, the transfer window may not open for another month, but clubs are already getting busy. Yesterday, Arsenal, the hype has already started online. So to hopefully tell us more about them, we're going to be joined, of course, right now by South American football expert Tim Vickery. Tim, thank you so much for joining us, mate. Now, there's a lot of Arsenal fans that I'm sure will be waiting to hear about these. Just how good are they, and how much of a coup is this for Arsenal?
Arsenal transfer news. Bruno Guimarães wants Arsenal, what this could mean for Newcastle in the summer window. Arsenal have been linked with midfield reinforcements for months, and now a fresh and very believable report could seriously shake up the summer plans. In this video, we break down why Bruno Guimarães may want a move to Arsenal this summer, what he could bring to Mikel Arteta's midfield, and how Newcastle might react to bids from the Premier League's top clubs. We also look at what Arsenal would realistically need to offer, and why this could become one of the most exciting transfers of the window. Arsenal transfer news has been heating up all year, and when rumors involve a player as influential as Bruno Guimarães, fans naturally start to pay attention. Guimarães is the kind of midfielder who doesn't just play the position, he dominates space, sets the tempo, and turns chaotic moments into controlled attacks. If Arsenal are genuinely pursuing him, it would be a statement that the club is ready to take another step toward competing for major trophies again. So what's the latest buzz? Reports circulating around the rumor cycle suggest that Bruno Guimarães has reportedly told Newcastle he wants to move to Arsenal this summer. While transfer rumors always need to be taken with a pinch of salt, the details making the rounds are exactly the kind of story that fans find plausible, and that clubs actually consider when negotiations begin. This kind of situation usually starts with motivation. Guimarães isn't just looking for a bigger league. He would be looking for a project where his role is clear, a team that wants to dominate games, the wheel D through the midfield, and gives him the platform to shine week after week in high-stakes matches. Arsenal, under Mikel Arteta, have become that kind of club. Their style demands intensity, quick decision-making, and players who can win battles without losing control of the ball, and that's where Bridge Uno fits perfectly. Why Arsenal are a logical destination for Guimarães? From a football perspective, Arsenal makes sense for a midfielder like Guimarães for three main reasons. Arsenal's midfield identity suits him. Guimarães is known for his aggressive ball winning, his ability to carry the ball forward, and his quick distribution after regaining possession. Arsenal's system frequently relies on transitions, steal the ball, move it quickly, then break lines. That requires a midfielder who can recover first and pass decisively second. Guimarães is exactly that player. He would be stepping into Premier League pressure. Newcastle already play with intensity, but Arsenal's matches involve a different kind of pressure. Every season, Arsenal are measured against the biggest teams. That's attractive to players who want to test themselves at the highest level consistently. Arteta's midfield recruitment is about fit, not just talent. Arsenal haven't historically chased random names, they've chased players who match their tactical needs. If this rumor is real, Guimarães would be viewed as a tactical upgrade, not just a star signing. What the, he informed Newcastle, angle really means. Let's talk about realism, because the most important thing here is, transfers don't usually happen without the player's clear intent. The idea that Guimarães has informed Newcastle he wants Arsenal is believable for a few reasons. First, elite clubs track player attitudes. If a player's head is elsewhere, the club has two options: hold firm and risk losing the player later for less money, or prepare to negotiate sooner with a clear offer target. Newcastle, as a selling club when necessary, would want to manage the situation proactively. Second, players often signal their intentions through agents, conversations, and sometimes direct communication. If Guimarães wants to push for Arsenal, Newcastle would likely ask themselves, can we keep him? Or do we use the summer to maximize value? Third, Arsenal would be a strong bargaining partner. Arsenal are one of the few clubs that can credibly pay Premier League level transfer fees and wages for a player of that profile. If Guimarães truly prefers Arsenal, his desire becomes leverage, because it influences how negotiations unfold. Could Arsenal actually get this done this summer? This is where the rumor becomes interesting, but also where realism matters most. Arsenal would need to meet three key requirements to make the transfer feel believable: a realistic fee for a top Premier League-ready midfielder. Newcastle won't sell cheaply. Guimarães has proven his quality in a tough league, and he's still relatively young compared to many established midfielders. If Arsenal move for him, they would likely need to offer a substantial fee, often the kind that makes a deal feel big, but not impossible. In other words, this isn't a bargain transfer. It's a serious target, personal terms that match his ambition. Guimarães wouldn't join a club only to rotate or sit deep on the bench. If he wants Arsenal, the expectations around minutes and role matter. Arsenal could offer him a key midfield spot as part of a long-term plan, not just a short-term stopgap. Newcastle's willingness to negotiate. Even if Guimarães wants Arsenal, Newcastle have their own sporting goals and financial needs. The Magpies would likely require a replacement plan or at least an agreed timeline. If they believe Arsenal can be pushed, they will try to extract maximum value, what Guimarães would add to Arsenal immediately. If Arsenal signed Bruno Guimarães, the benefits could be felt quickly. Better ball recovery in midfield. Arsenal would gain more control during transitions and counter-pressing moments. More physical presence. Guimarães brings strength in duels, which matters against teams that bully midfield. More leadership through performance. He doesn't just talk, he influences games through actions. A clearer midfield structure. Arsenal could build around a midfielder who links defense to attack with composure. In short, he's the type of midfielder that makes a team look more complete. The most likely transfer scenario Arsenal fans could expect. Arsenal express strong interest and start quiet negotiations early. Newcastle ask for a high valuation and begin searching for alternative targets. Guimarães pushes for a move, and his intent pressures Newcastle to decide whether to hold out or negotiate. Arsenal submit an improved bid, potentially including add-ons or performance-based payments. A deal is agreed closer to late summer, because that's often when clubs reach final decisions. This kind of timeline is common in realistic transfer business. It's not always instant, but it becomes more Kelly as deadlines approach. Final thoughts: could Arsenal really get Bruno Guimarães? Arsenal transfer news becomes exciting when it connects a player's football fit with a club's ambition, and Bruno Guimarães ticks that box. If the rumor is accurate and he has informed Newcastle he wants Arsenal this summer, then Arsenal shouldn't just consider the deal, they should treat it as a serious pursuit. Because if Guimarães arrives, Arsenal wouldn't just be buying a midfielder. They'd be upgrading their control, their identity, and their ability to win big matches more consistently. And if this is one of the transfers that can turn Arsenal into title challengers again, then it's exactly the kind of summer story fans will be talking about all year.